Transplanted organs cause cancer in 4 women. In an extremely rare case, 4 patients developed cancer after receiving organs from the same donor, with 3 succumbing to the disease. When doctors harvested the kidneys, lungs, heart, and liver of a 53-year-old organ donor, she had no known medical conditions, and no malignancy was detected. Breast cancer cells were later found in the lung, left kidney, and liver recipients, with DNA analysis showing they came from the same donor. The 3 recipients died after the cancer metastasized. A 4th organ recipient survived following the removal of the donated right kidney, stopping immunosuppression drugs and chemotherapy. The study suggests the donor has micrometastasis, which are groups of cancer cells that spread from their site of origin but are too small to be detected. Organ donations are not allowed for anyone with an active malignancy, as cancer transmission can occur during transplantation. This rare medical occurrence, however, is believed to be the first case of breast cancer being transferred. You don't see that every day.
Boy's heart stops after eating a hot dog. A boy who ate a heart-stopping hot dog is the subject of a strikingly odd new medical study. A report in the medical journal Pediatric describes how a 9-year-old boy's heart stopped beating after he began eating a hot dog in Istanbul, Turkey. He was later resuscitated. Choking can lead to cardiac arrest in children, but in this case, medical staff found the hot dog stimulated the boy's vagus nerve, which in turn triggered an abnormal rhythm that caused his heart to stop. Upon further investigation and an electrocardiogram, he was found to have a rare life-threatening heart rhythm condition known as Brugada syndrome. The child was later implanted with a defibrillator to help regulate the abnormal heart rhythms via electrical impulses. The condition is reportedly inherited and more common among those of Southeast Asian descent.
Woman gives birth to her own son during surrogate pregnancy. Earlier this year, Cali woman Jessica Allen gave birth to what she thought was twins while acting as a surrogate mother. Little did she know one of the babies was actually her own biological son, whom she conceived while already carrying the surrogate child. During pregnancy, a woman's body stops releasing eggs. However, in some extremely rare cases, they are still produced after one has been fertilized. This is called superfetation. In reported cases, this is where a woman conceives another child while already pregnant. Speaking to the New York Post, Jessica says the couple who hired her womb wanted nearly $20,000 in compensation after finding out the child wasn't theirs. She also says the adoption agency who arranged it all wanted money for looking after their baby boy. To make matters worse, she says both the agency and couple were separately considering putting the child up for adoption. But Jessica says the couple got nada and she eventually got her son back, though the legal battle left her and her husband Jasper $3,000 out of pocket. Unlike a twin pregnancy, superfetation is when 2 fetuses grow separately inside the same woman at different rates. In 2009, a doctor speaking to ABC about a case of superfetation said she could only find 10 cases of it in medical literature. What's even more amazing about Jessica's story is that she says she conceived her son while her husband was wearing a condom. Boy battles real-life grayscale. A family is desperately searching for a cure for their son, whose debilitating condition is basically turning him into stone. Jaden Rogers has congenital fascial dystrophy, or stiff skin syndrome, a connective tissue disorder characterized by thick, stone-like skin. The 12-year-old's struggle with the disease started 6 years ago, when his adoptive dad noticed a small, hard lump on his right thigh that got bigger and spread at an alarming rate. It soon wrapped around his legs, hips, butt, and arms, and made it difficult and painful to move. Chemotherapy slowed the calcification for a while, but the symptoms have since gotten worse, with Jaden now needing a respirator to help him breathe. Only 40 other cases of the rare condition have ever been documented in the world, so doctors know very little and are still struggling to find a cure. They say the worst-case scenario is total paralysis, with Jaden becoming entombed within himself. Stem cell treatment in Europe could be the boy's last hope, but the family's finances have already been exhausted. A GoFundMe account has been set up to fund the medical costs. Only $43,000 of the $1.5 million goal has been raised so far, but family and friends say donating air miles or hotel points would also help. New study says it's possible to sweat blood. Are you one of those people that's always sweating? Have you ever sweat blood, though? A 21-year-old Italian woman was found to have been bleeding intermittently from her face and palms for 3 years. She was eventually diagnosed with blood sweating or hematohidrosis. This condition causes blood to seep out of unbroken skin like normal perspiration. It's most common on the face, ears, nose, and eyes, and is often associated with fear and emotional stress. The woman was treated with a beta blocker normally used to regulate blood pressure and heart rate. The medicine did not stop the bleeding, but she did experience a marked reduction in symptoms. Medical experts still don't know what causes the condition. Conscious during your own resuscitation? Yikes. A new Danish study is raising awareness of the rare but disturbing phenomenon of patients being awake during CPR. A doctor at the Euro-Anesthesia Congress in Copenhagen presented the case of a 69-year-old man who went to the hospital after 3 days of indigestion but suffered cardiac arrest while being admitted. A medical team immediately began chest compressions. CPR was administered for the next 90 minutes, with the patient reportedly showing signs of conscious awareness throughout. A high level of awareness during CPR is extremely rare, according to experts, since blood flow to the brain is often insufficient. Strangely, the man's heart remained non-functioning and without electrical activity, which caused him to lose consciousness each time doctors held off on CPR. Despite being given several shots of epinephrine, his heart failed to restart on its own. The man eventually died after compressions were stopped for good. An autopsy later revealed that the patient suffered a complete aortic dissection, a lethal condition in which blood is forced between the inner and outer aorta layers. Since the decision to terminate CPR happened while the man was still conscious, it raised serious ethical questions, including the use of sedation when resuscitating patients.